There we go. Turn on that mic button. Good. I'm starting off. Well, nobody could be as bad as the Florida Gators are playing tonight, but hey, at least it was a delay of game, not as a complete crappy ass meltdown as you see in Gainesville. Folks, how are you doing tonight? Dadman Walking 55 here with you tonight. Working out some energy. Uh, I one of the things I struggled in my SEC predictions this year is what Gator team will show up. And folks, we are seeing we're, we're hoping to see the end of what this 3-year train wreck in Gainesville. This is ridiculous. I've questioned even since the first year whether this guy could coach at the SEC, and Miami has rolled into Gainesville right now, 38-10, completely dominating. I tell you, folks, you got to look at the Miami Hurricanes possibly as a class of the Atlantic Coast Conference this year. They are so scary good with the transfer quarterback, Cam Ward from Washington State, folks. They are making this look like a clinic against the Gators today. And, yep, I will still say go Gators. Yes, we always keep the faith. Hopefully you get a new coach one day soon and you turn the program truly around in 1 year on the transfer portal, the NIL, and not having to do this. We got to change the culture crap. Of course, I will repeat later when we have people that come in. This is the coach that came in to change a culture, insisting to do it the right way, yet his players keep making stupid personal foul penalties repeatedly in games or melt down at times. So, yeah, right. Okay. Well, folks, hope your day has been better than my football day. Yes, it is still Christmas Day. It is still Christmas because we do have the return of college football. And with great friends and other people, I will still have fun with college football this year. I will be I will just have to be the snarky Gator fan, the grumpy old man Gator fan this year and realize it ain't going to be good, folks. I do want to take a look at also my revised predictions. I am probably going to have to talk about this on Wednesday night with our show with Bucky's Crafting on Wednesday night because frankly, from what I've seen today, you're lucky to have a Florida team win 3 games this year, maybe 4. But we'll take a look at the schedule coming up. I mean, don't trash Miami, and my intent's not to trash Miami. They look good. They look very good now that they've got a legitimate quarterback behind center. That's been one of the pieces that Miami Hurricanes have lacked in the last few years is a really solid, dependable signal caller. Well, when we thought Florida's had a decent signal caller, but nope. Graham Mertz did very, very little tonight, completely pedestrian, and folks, it was not pretty, and it's still not pretty. It's so bad I actually flipped over to the CW to try to watch the Beavers, but they are still not yet started, at least officially. That's why I'm hoping to have some more fun with people and stuff tonight. We're looking at games. We got Michigan playing Fresno State, starting off the defending national champions. Will be playing later, as well as the big showdown. Notre Dame traveling to College Station against the Aggies. So we shall see what shall happen with that. No, it would be typical that the Aggies turn out to be better than I predicted, and of course the Gators turned out worse. Well, we had this happen last year where the Gators were actually better at the start than I figured, but then went into major meltdown mode as the season finished. So, all right. We also have UTEP is playing Nebraska. Of course, it's a one-sided game right now, and we'll see where we go. All right. So let's take a look at. Oh shoot! I hadn't even tweeted out that I went live. Well, let me do that. Oh, crap. What the hell did I just push? Anyway, I'm only on the YouTube side tonight, so let me tweet out that I'm live now. And just, yeah, so, yeah, so let me do this real quick. Hey, let's see. Mm-hmm. College football. Yeah, I can't type football. Lackluster. Yeah, lackluster. Gator effort and game. Against let's see. All right, so folks, I'm doing that right now, putting this out here in the Twitch. This is kind of a rampage and recovery stream. So there we go. All right, there. So, all right, we'll do that. Let me do. Oh, shoot. You know what? Let's see. I meant to do it like with this. So, get a little pretty picture. You know, you need a little pretty picture. So now, there you go. All right, this is therapy. Mrs. said get a hobby years ago. It's my hobby. So, you know what? I go live, you know. It's free therapy, folks. Work out your frustration. Get a YouTube channel. Go rampage away all on your own. Talk to yourself. But at least this way you can talk to yourself and not look crazy. Because you're technically, you know, anyway, you get the picture. You know. You get the picture. Man. All right. So let's take a look in the games that have been completed earlier today, folks, shall we? We've got earlier games today. We have, of course, in the big highlight matchup starting today, the Georgia Bulldogs play the Clemson Tigers in Atlanta. Georgia ends up with a slowish start, but ends up walking away with this game 34-3 against Clemson. Really, the second half, it went to halftime at 6-0 game. Georgia with a couple of field goals in the first half, but then Georgia's offense unloads in the second half. Let's see. I do not just check something. Trevor Etienne was suspended for this game. Actually, yeah, and he did not play in this game. But I will tell you, the Georgia running backs didn't miss him. Nate Frazier ran the ball 11 times for 83 yards. Also caught a 24-yard pass. The Georgia running backs looked really, really good this game against Clemson, who was very stingy on defense in the first half. Halftime adjustments in the second. Georgia ends up walking away with this game. Carson Beck, one of the Heisman leading candidates, 23-33, throwing the ball, 278 yards with 2 touchdowns on the day. No picks. Of course, Nate Frazier also had a touchdown on the ground, and so did Cash Jones. So definitely you could tell two halves. First half was a defensive struggle, but neither team really did much exciting on offense. Second half, Georgia showed up. Clemson kicked a lone field goal coming out to make the game a little closer for a little bit, but yeah, did not happen. Did not last long in this game. Georgia really came through a dominant performance today against the Clemson Tigers. Now, that's one of the stories going around with Clemson is that Dabo Swinney does not want to do the NIL, the transfer portals. He's looking at, especially on the transfer portal, of not doing it. Well, there could be some more talk about whether he needs to change that philosophy and really actually consider, competing. Look at the ACC. FSU's active in the portal. Many other teams are in the SEC. You got Ole Miss, Georgia. All these teams are, even if they're great teams like Georgia and Ole Miss, they're hitting the NIL deals. They're hitting the portal to pick up more players. It truly is about like the NFL, where you're just trying to get, restack your team every year. It's not like the traditional college rosters with players for 4 years. And you can do it. And that's one of the stories that lines in Gainesville. They've had some players with the NIL deals, but they've been very selective in the transfer portals to the point where they're losing more than they're bringing in because some coaches don't want to use it. Do I like it? No. I think it's a bad thing for the history and tradition of college football and college athletics, but you either adapt and you adjust to it or, you get left behind. And we saw a very pedestrian Clemson team today, especially on offense. It looked like it had no firepower, no downfield presence. Just really a very average effort on the offensive side. And then Georgia just got hot in the second half with behind them the passing of Carson Beck. So Georgia starts off the season in a very impressive 34-3 win over Clemson, the 14th ranked team of the nation. I know my kid was very nervous about it. The first half saw warning signs, but the second half definitely was a good game going away for the Georgia Bulldogs. So we got that game there. Yay. So as we flip around, I'm taking a look. And Ohio State did pull away from Akron. It currently is 45-7. JT last night, yeah, I know. I would have loved to have Akron do something really crazy, but we had a couple other games earlier today where there were some close calls early in the games, but just not enough. UTEP challenged Nebraska early in the game, but obviously fell behind. Talent does catch up in these games at some point. And basically, folks, I have turned off the Gator game. So we'll see what happens with them. Let's see. The Beavers are about to start. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. All right. So that's it. Georgia, number 1 in the nation, is rolled today over Clemson. Also, Pitt in an early game that was delayed by 2 hours and 9 minutes due to weather. Penn State goes on the road. 8th-ranked Penn State plays a Big 12 team and really dominates West Virginia, winning this game 34-12. A lot of people had this as a potential upset game coming in, possible upset of this team of the West Virginia maybe picking off Penn State at home, but no. Penn State actually very impressive on offense. Scoreless at their scoreless first quarter. Penn State gets on track 13-6. Of course, why the hell do you go for 2 points on the first touchdown of the game? I tweeted about that earlier today. James Franklin, that's going to catch up with you, dude. And they did another, I just don't understand this NFL mentality that's gotten into college sports. You kick this dang ball, you get points, you don't want to chase points, but these coaches, playbooks, that's one of the problems when the NFL started 2-point conversion, it bled down into colleges with this chart of when you go for 2. No, you don't go for 2 until the fourth quarter and when you absolutely need to. That's the rule. That should stick to it. And, coaches that do it early in the game deserve to lose. The stupid swinging gate crap, all this gimmick stuff, just play friggin' football. And sometimes it doesn't hurt to settle for a field goal. All right. But Penn State ends up taking a 20-6 lead into the half. There's a 2-hour plus rain delay. Comes out, puts another 2 touchdowns on in the second half. West Virginia gets a lone touchdown in the fourth quarter. So Penn State totaled up 457 yards of offense in this game. West Virginia totaled 246 games. 21 first downs, 19 for West Virginia. Time of possession was very even, 30-25 for Penn State, 29-35 for West Virginia. So you could not ask for a more balanced game in terms of time of possession, but on the tape on the field, yes, you do. Garrett Green for West Virginia was 15 of 28, throwing for 161 yards. West Virginia, his team ran the ball for 85 yards, but Penn State really came through dominating performance. Drew Aller threw 11 17 times, 11 completions for 216 yards. That's actually impressive. 12.7 per attempt, definitely near 20 yards, almost 20 yards per completion, 3 touchdowns. This was so dominating that Bo Pribula, the backup for Penn State, got in and threw a touchdown. Well, let's see. I don't know. Maybe he's a running back. It must be. No, he's a quarterback. Dang. Wow. Brew Pribula. Wow. He's got a rating after today. 101, 19 yards and a touchdown. His rating is 589.6. Wow, that's cool. All right. Hey, Big Ten fans, I'm here live talking Big Ten football. What do you know? Also, Bill Prebula ran the ball 3 times for 25 yards. Nicholas Singleton led the Nittany Lions with 114 yards on the ground at 8.8 per carry and a touchdown. Harrison Wallace III for Penn State caught 5 balls for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day as Penn State rolls. Today, the first week, had a lot of good matchup, had a lot of intriguing matchups. This was a good game for danger. And, unfortunately, we didn't get the upsets. We had our upset last week, but today, and even Thursday, Friday night, we had some close calls, but no real head-shaking upsets so far. I think probably the most stunning game of the day is got to be, let's see, well, I'll come back to the stunning game of the day. I'll tell you, honestly, the stunning game of the day to me is the Florida Gators, the way they've gotten dominated by the Miami Hurricanes, but I will talk more about that in a little bit. So, number 4, Texas ends up rolling over Colorado State in a game we expected to be blowout, but it was a little bit close early. Tennessee, in the battle of Tennessee against Chattanooga, kills the Moccasins 69-3. And Nico Iamaleva's first game as the regular season game as a starting quarterback for the Volunteers, threw for 314 yards. Very impressive first game for him. So let's see, bring up the box score here with that. Yeah, 22 of 28 for Nico, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. He didn't have to run the ball. He ran only 4 times for 6 yards, folks. Really, with this is a speed offense. Run a lot of times generated by the quarterback, but they played 2 other quarterbacks. Gaston Moore was 7 of 12 for 69 yards, who threw a pick, and then Jake Merklinger 4 for 4, 31 yards. So they did get it clear. The bench is pretty good. Dylan Sampson ran the ball only 12 times, but for 124 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a 56-yarder for the Volunteers. While the Volunteers amassed over 700 yards of total offense, 414 through the air, 304 on the ground, averaging 6.6 yards per carry. Brew McCoy, 6 catches for 89 yards. Dante Thornton Jr. for Tennessee, 3 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Squirrel White had, 2 years ago, we found love with the name Squirrel White, Tennessee wide receiver, 2 catches, 22 yards. So he had a quiet day, but here for the Volunteers, it was a good chance to play a lot of players because with them this week, the talk was when their depth chart was released, there was like 34 oars. Usually with a depth chart, you have your first, you have your second, you have your third. It's pretty clearly designed and stuff. But in Tennessee's case, they had so many oars. So today was a day to get some experience and all. And hello, Agent Atwood. How are you today? Good to see you. I've talked about Georgia already, but I don't mind going back and talking about it. If y'all got questions about games, matchups, or anything else, or anything you've seen today and don't quite understand it, feel free to ask. But thank you, Atwood, for saying hello. By the way, the Beavers are now kicking off. Javon McCoy is actually their quarterback this year. Oh, they brought one in from Idaho. Well, this is the first game for the Beavers without Jonathan Smith, their former quarterback that became their head coach, who now is in East Lansing with Michigan State. Go figure. I hate that. But anyway, Tennessee, I tell you what, I hate to say it. People have asked. I might have to become a Tennessee fan one day. I mean, they're actually positive. They're hoping for it. They got damn Rocky Top. You can't get that damn evil song out of my head. But Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel is all I'm going to say. Compare Josh Heupel. No, hey, Atwood, I've not yet rampaged. Get your friends, neighbors, dogs, donkeys, and everybody in here because I'm going to rampage in a minute. No, you have every right. Don't apologize for that. That was shit. I will say shit is what the Gators did today. That's unacceptable for a team of their size of the school in the Southeastern Conference. That is to just be so embarrassed at home. Yeah, it looks like the Beavers are driving. Yay. All right. So anyway, but yeah, it's I got a lot about that. I'm trying to work. That's why I'm doing the stream, Atwood, is because I'm so pissed at that game. You get not just beaten by your rivals, but you get butt spanked, whipped up and down the field by your hated in-state rivals at home. You don't even show up for the damn game. That's what's so bad. But anyway, let's get back to some positivity. Tennessee, though, the fans up there, Josh Heupel, they're excited. They play North Carolina State next week. A good tune-up for them. They got some place. Well, yeah, and Wade, that's one of the other games that are coming up we're going to talk about. Hey, yeah, Atwood, that's how bad it is. Yeah, that's how bad it is. I quit. Dude, hey, Wade, that is very possible. That is very possible. Vanderbilt looked kind of good. I'm going to stay in order right now before I jump on that. But Wade, they looked better than Florida did. I got comments on my observations for Florida. And yeah, Atwood, when I do that, yeah, exactly. That's Mrs. said, oh, they got another touchdown. Woo! Yay. You know what's happening? DJ Lagway has finally come in the game. And what that means is now they're going to go, oh, we need to play a new quarterback. No, the team sucks on offense. Anyway. Yeah, exactly, Dave C. Hey, Dave, good to see you. You get the Dadman rent stream tonight. So don't worry. You don't need to know football. This is for you. If you like Dadman rents, this is going to happen tonight. I'm scarred, unfiltered, and very cantankerous. So, but I'm laughing at least. I had plans. They've kind of stunk today. And, oh, yeah. See, that's the advantage. ESPN Plus. If you have that Disney package, yeah, you can get it. And you're getting it also on ABC Network, but ESPN Plus does allow you a ways into that, which, by the way, I have a ton of ESPN Plus games that I could watch, which were really, really good today. By the way, getting back to Tennessee, they had a 45-0 lead at halftime. This is how bad it was at. Yeah, nice. 69-3 was the score. So they just dominate Chattanooga, but hey, this was expected. This was a paycheck game. Yeah, but see, you have the internet. If you got ESPN Plus, yeah, you can do it. ESPN3 also broadcasts ABC televised games. So, all right, what we've got here. So let's see. Much can I say? The cool thing with Tennessee is their players. They got Rocky Top as a song. They got Nico Ayala-Maliva as the quarterback. As I said, they also have Brew McCoy as a wide receiver, and they have the famous, we said 2 years ago, Squirrel White. Yes, Squirrel is his name. Yep. And they also have Chaz Nimrod. That's usually been a put down for most people, but they have good names on their team. So anyway, Tennessee also come into the game with no experience at kickers. But they had Max Gilbert make both field goals, the longest of 42, 7-7 on extra points. Even Josh Turbyville got to kick a couple extra points in this round. Tennessee punting-wise, Jackson Ross, they also had to break in a punter, and he only had one kick for only 23 yards. So, but a very dominating performance expected by Tennessee. Hey, Yang, so, at least somebody's having a happy day today. Hey, Atwood, thanks for the score updates, 41-17. So, but what I fear is that when Florida starts scoring those meaningless garbage touchdowns and score points, is that people will be calling for the backup quarterback. I'm trying to hold off on those comments until I get to that damn game. So it's still alive. Let's see. Of other finals today, let's see. Let's go to the game Wade pointed out here. Vanderbilt hosted Virginia Tech. This is a game of Vanderbilt bringing in a whole bunch of coaching staff and bringing in a bunch of whole coaching staff from New Mexico State, as well as their starting quarterback. Yeah. So that's 4 minutes left in the game. Yes. I don't know about that, though, Wade. I think the Buffalo's pretty lame on defense, but I don't know. I right now I'm not calling anybody better or worse than anybody else between the two teams. So, but Diego Pavia comes in, starts for the first time for Vanderbilt. Really looked good. I tell you, I think Vanderbilt, and Wade, in all seriousness, though, Vanderbilt looked better than Florida. Now, granted, Vanderbilt did not play the University of Miami. Yes, Putin's cat, you missed 666. Somebody came in with two friends and got us off that evil number really quickly. But yeah, good to see tonight, Putin's cat. All right, but in terms of Vanderbilt, but for Vanderbilt's size, this was a surprise win to me. I expected Virginia Tech, who had expectations in the Atlantic Coast Conference this year, to come in and handle a typical Vanderbilt team. This Vanderbilt team was not your normal pushover team, even against average competition. Watching the game, that's why sometimes, folks, just the stats don't tell the whole story. Watching the game does a lot. This Vanderbilt team looked like they could handle themselves on the line of scrimmage. They looked like they could play some defense at times, except for one massive breakdown that allowed Virginia Tech to score a very easy touchdown. It was very impressive that Vanderbilt got this win today against a solid Virginia Tech team. Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia was 12 of 16 for 190 yards throwing the ball, 2 touchdowns on the day, no interceptions. He also ran the ball 26 times for 104 yards, 4 yards a carry with a touchdown. Cedric Alexander was 17 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown for Vanderbilt on the ground. Vanderbilt leading receiver Quincy Skinner Jr. 4 catches for 72 yards with 18 per catch average and a touchdown. Really a lack of depth here for Vanderbilt in the receiving area, but had a chance to get some players to play, and not a bad day. Virginia Tech statistically looked pretty good. Kyron Jones was 22 of 33 for 322 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick on the day. But really, this was a good game overall. Two very Uh-oh. Oh, Dadman. Oh, man. Who knows what? Did they get in a fight on the field? If they got in a fight on the field, I'd laugh, because all I hear about for 3 years is culture and doing it the right way. And all I see a team that twice in the first half committed boneheaded penalties. So, anyway. And I knocked myself out of the game, out of the stream. Dude, yeah, they are. They should be. Going in the fourth quarter, there were a lot of empty seats in it. And I tell you, you're going to see that at Florida Field. They got everybody hyped up. Their first game of the year, big in-state rival, and it was packed. But they're not going to put up 3 years of bullshit for a team that. Anyway, let me get to that later. But yeah, exactly. But I tell you, but let's focus on some positivity. Vanderbilt, give them credit. This is a game that they could have fallen apart. They took a 3-0 lead early. They ended up taking a 14-3 lead into the half, but then they fell behind, managed to rally to tie it up and forced overtime. So, yep. And of course, Vanderbilt gets the first possession, scores a touchdown conversion, and holds Virginia Tech off for the win. This is, if you don't know about the overtime rules in college football, this is one of those where each team gets the ball at the 25-yard line. They alternate times and until one scores. Since Vanderbilt held Virginia Tech out on their possession, the game ended. But all credit to Vanderbilt. I mean, if you're a Vanderbilt fan, enjoy the win. And I tell you, Wade, it's a year that Vanderbilt probably wishes they would beat Florida. And I actually, honestly, that's the one danger of doing the preseason show like I did and making predictions, especially now in this day and age of transfer portals and NILs and the way players change teams. You really don't know much until you see it. Vanderbilt looked good. Vanderbilt really looked. Are they going to win a lot in the SEC? I still don't think so, but they look like a competent football team. Anything but like Florida, I will say. Let's see. See one other game. So all you Vanderbilt fans, congratulations to you out there. Y'all deserve that. So Iowa State beats North Dakota 21-3. Another one of these small school teams that gives a big conference team a little bit of a battle. So that is. Let's see where we're. I guess is the game over or is it still going? But hey, well, folks, geez, that's all right. I wonder how much longer that I've got to wait till this game goes final. So let's just see if I can figure it out. But hey, hopefully y'all. What have y'all been up to do today? So I still love football, and I'll tell you, I will enjoy the season. The Gators. Oh, by the way, are they? Oh, 3:14 left. I wonder if the game's over. Yeah, I wonder if the game's going final 38-58. Yeah, it may be the 2-point warning, but hey, folks, yeah, they wow. Wait till wow, folks. This is, I would say this is a beatdown. Have you ever heard of the term beatdown? Well, that's what this is. This tonight was an old-fashioned beatdown. And that's the only way you can explain it. And, hey, so I will find my joy in college football, not with the Florida Gators, but with all you great people, talking about it on Wednesday nights with Bucky's Crafting, hoping Michigan will do something. JT Kirk with Michigan State and any of my other friends, and hell, maybe even Atwood with the University of Georgia and Nang. I don't know. Maybe I'll take Rocky Top. Oh, Rocky Top. Yeah, I noticed that they were on. I flipped back to Florida just to finish the game. Beavers are looking good. But I tell you what, you got to say something big to big old Pac-12 with their official network now is the CW. The CW network carries the Big 12 games, the Pac-12 games featuring Washington State and Oregon State. Just like they do the wonderful DC shows that they do that everybody just loves. Anyway. Yep, exactly. And the Canes are – I tell you what, though, you can't trash the Canes, though, today for this. This is – wow. 524 yards for the Canes, 261 yards on offense for the Gators. I'm going to – I want to wait to finish my comments till this game is over because, if I was Miami, honestly – screw taking a knee. I'd throw another friggin' touchdown in the end zone. I'd run it up if I was Miami. I would. Why not? They still got the starting quarterback in. I'd send a damn message. Yep. Because I think, folks, with the way I've seen this game today, I think you're going to see Miami take a big jump in the polls. I think they're going to fly up a lot higher than teams usually do. So, but I would, if I was Miami, I'd score another touchdown. Yeah, I exploded earlier, Atwood. I'm in recall and therapy now. That's why I'm doing the stream. Until I get to talking about this game. So if Dave's still here, if anybody else, if you want to hear Dadman rant, you're going to hear about it. But I just like to hold off till the game is actually finished. There's only about a minute left in it. Wow, just complete domination, folks. So, but hey, did you all watch any of the games earlier today? What did you see? What did you like? What did you not like? I didn't like the stupid 2-hour rain delay in friggin' Morgantown, West Virginia. In the old days, they played through rain and lightning and everything else. But nowadays, it's like turn it all off and stuff. But, well, it looks like Miami is not going to Looks like Miami's going to not run up the score, but I'll tell you, if I was Miami in a game like this, I'd run it up. If the roles reversed, darn straight, if it's FSU or Georgia, I'd throw another friggin' touchdown. Why not? They're rivals. That's some of the stuff we need to get back in our college sports is to keep the passion and the fire between the two teams, up against each other, But and all my mockery is like, oh wow, the Gators made a tackle. Gators made a tackle. Exactly, Atwood. I'm not. You need to invite your neighbors, donkeys, dogs, everybody else, come in because I'm gonna. I'm gonna be a bit unfiltered with that. I just want to get the final on this, and we will hit this live in just a moment. Let me double check any other games just to make sure. But folks, seriously, if y'all have had any FSU by 60, I can believe it. If you're talking about the way they play Florida, I tell you, if you talk about the way they play Florida, yeah, exactly. So, all right, I'm just hoping. Like I said, I'm hoping to watch football for other people and with other people to actually have some fun. Let's look at games later coming up tonight. Let's see games that are still live or that matter. Old Dominion, South Carolina is kind of a tight game right now. Let me see what that score is. Let me see what the score is before I get going. Let's see. Furman, Ole Miss is underway. Ole Miss leads 6-0. UT Martin, Kansas State have kicked off. Crap, it puts it back to the top 25. So let's go here. All right. I'll get to that. Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt that, Wade. I do not doubt that. I tell you what, I seriously, Atwood, I wish Miami would have put another touchdown on the board. You humiliate your enemies into beyond submission. Oh, Georgia Southern is on the road at they're hosting Boise State and are winning 37-36. Wow. South Carolina leads Old Dominion 16-7. This is one Bucky called with Old Dominion. But they've not scored since the first half. Carolina's got just some field goals. Admiral Teague's favorite, Stony Brook, is trailing Marshall 7-0 in the first quarter. Cal is leading UC Davis, which is bizarre that Cal is in the in ACC now. Gosh. Mississippi State has jumped all out on Eastern Kentucky 21-0. Let's see, Campbell leads Liberty 10-7. Virginia was a game that I thought that Richmond might be able to come in and upset, but Virginia leads 20-7. Another game delayed by rain. Oregon State already leads 7-0 on Idaho State, and Alabama, West Kentucky. TJ Ridley is making his return to the state of Alabama. The former Auburn quarterback, and he started at LSU. Rice leads Sam Houston. All right, so that's what's going on at the moment in college football. So, all right, let's take that. Let me get back here, and we will go ahead and we will talk about. All right, Vigilante Williamson, the man that helped get us off that 666, Putin's cat. How are you tonight, dude? Michigan is still yet to play, and man, what a stinker toot in Gainesville, man. All right, folks, good to see you, Vigilante. Well, listen. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to. Post transfer portal, I wonder if players would not want to run up schools. Dude, I tell you, you remember the old days, Florida, Miami, FSU, Miami. It's like, screw it, run that damn score up, it's one thing to play powder puffs, but you know what? The damn University of Florida, Miami just made them their bitch today because it's like 41-17 in Gainesville on the road. It's like, you know what? You suck so bad, I'm going to score another touchdown just to rub it in. So, yeah. I will not want to. Yeah, but see, it's the coaches that do it, And I tell you what, who doesn't want to pad their stats? But then again, that's another thing is, you also have to weigh it against, also getting hurt. One of the dumbest plays that I've ever seen was when Mike Shula was the coach at Alabama many years ago, and they had a big lead against Florida. Yeah, exactly. That's what I miss, Vigilante. With all this transfer and all this stuff, we're losing a lot of the hatred and, well, not necessarily the hatred, but the traditions, those things that used to be around. Now we got everybody being defended because of getting hit too hard and this, that, and the other, and just it was a different type of thing, and everybody's giving Deion Sanders some crap about the way he is building his programs and stuff like that with all the, like last year especially. But I love what he said to people in response to this whole culture comment. He said that, look, I played on teams where the wide receiver hated the quarterback's guts. They wouldn't ever talk. They hated the linemen, all this stuff. But you know what? When it came game day, nobody could mess with them. They were dominant on the field, and that's what counted. And I respect that because, you've got a situation now. The University of Florida just loses at home very badly and embarrassingly to the University of Miami, Florida Hurricanes, 41-17. And just, and Napier's been a coach that when he took the job was to clean up after Dan Mullen, which I didn't think he had a bad locker room. But apparently I was the only Gator fan that did not see that. But you get a coach coming in saying, I need 3 or 4 years to build it and do it the right way and all. Well, hey, Napier's teams are as undisciplined, if not more, than what Mullen's teams were. And yet they're less talented and they're not as good. Everybody keeps saying how much talent Florida has. You did not see that today. This was like JV playing the friggin' NFL today. We're watching the way they played Miami. Miami is blowing that Gator line 5 yards back off the line into the backfield, just completely stymieing what Florida tried to do on offense. And, it was just a massive beatdown from what I saw. Vanderbilt actually looked like a better team today than Florida. Now, of course, you do have to look at your competition. But my pet peeve was Napier, as I said 2 years ago in the first year he was coaching, that they need to fire him then. I said it then. The guy is not an SEC coach. I said it. You watch this game today. Not just the defense. Giving up 41 again. The last 3 years where they fell apart, they had no defense. I think he's hiring horrible coaches. I think they keep hiring these young kids in there instead of getting these good old school defensive coordinators. And these defensive coordinators, especially last year and what I saw today, really, I don't know. I just, it's hard to explain. Are they not coaching? Their schemes are horrible too. They blitz at the wrong time. Then they don't blitz when they probably should. But Florida's problem was on both sides of the ball. The defense caved out, but folks, Florida looked like, and I actually had the missus sit with me, and she was acknowledging it. And she's watched enough football on her life. It was like all Florida could do was like 5 yard. The receivers were all bunched up, running very similar routes, all tight, and they 5 to 10 yards down the field every time, or always a flat pass, swing pass. Nothing down the field. And when they did throw it down the field, he kept overthrowing the receivers. And everybody said this guy was an offensive genius. And I've not seen much. Anthony Richardson 2 years ago had a good offense. But then again, he could also destroy the offense single-handedly with bad mistakes. So, and yes. But still, I tell you what, that is another one though. That brings to another discussion. I'm going to stay on Florida for a minute, but see, Florida lost by 24. But I tell you what, Clemson fans, there's been a lot of heat on Dabo Swinney for a while about his lack of use of the transfer portal and stuff. There have been a lot of criticisms on him about what, he won't do it. He won't rely on it. He keeps trying to stay in the old school build mode, which is what we've seen in Florida. Now, Florida has used transfer portals, in part because they kept losing players. They had to bring people in to replace what they lost to Ole Miss and Georgia. Take that. That's another thing I've got a complaint with the University of Gators coach, the University of Florida, with Napier, is he keeps losing solid players. Prince Amura, I can't remember his name, but their best damn defensive lineman last year is now playing Ole Miss. Trevor Etienne is now at the University of Georgia. Yeah, he was suspended today for violation. Well, he was a DUI. But you know what? He's a guy that just went in a situation. If you saw the Georgia-Clemson game, they didn't need him. Those Georgia running backs were fast, dynamic, and really exciting to watch today. So, Tia, okay, it's a transfer portal. Atwood, before you, old school tradition, you'd have 4 years of college eligibility, which you still do. You get recruited, you go there. You usually stay at a school till your scholarship runs out, or maybe, say if it's a bad fit, doesn't work out, then you would get to transfer one time. And you had to go through a process. And when you transferred, then you had to sit out a whole year before you could play. Well, all that got waived years ago, court cases, things like that. So now it's basically become unrestricted free agent in college football. Basically, example, Oregon State Beavers, who were in a Pac-12 conference that imploded last year. DJ Uiagalelei, the quarterback that had been at Clemson, transferred to Oregon State, then transfers to Florida State this year. Okay? That's what the transfer portal is. It allows them to go to another school for a better situation, a better fit. That's made a debate. Yeah. Hey, you ain't seen something. Georgia's defense 2 years ago was even better. They averaged 10 or 13 points a game, and they were the nation's best. So, hey. But I'll tell you what, Atwood, that's a perfect thing. Compare what Georgia is to Florida. Florida has no defense and is not under Napier. They've had some good defensive players, but the scheme – and even the whole old ball coach, Spurrier, he scored lots of points. But when he was at his best, he had good defenses. Bob Stoops was a coordinator. Ron Zook was a coordinator. And yeah, you're right. They wouldn't budge today. But I will tell you, folks, I'm bitching enough about Florida. And like I said, 2 years ago, I thought even the first season Napier would not last. I thought after last season they should fire him, start over now. But they're excited. The athletic director was on ESPN. Oh, we're excited. It's just like, how we can only go by what we see on the field. You see what Vanderbilt could still suck big time all year. But what I saw today was a different type of Vanderbilt team that actually looked like they could move the ball in offense, even against average competition. Miami Hurricanes, I saw a national title contender today. They were men among boys. They were blowing the Gators back off that damn line of scrimmage. It was amazing. They were running over them. The quarterback, even throwing sidearm, was hitting receivers in different places. Your eyes don't deceive you. So, well, Atwood, yeah. It's like you talking about Mortal Kombat. Yeah, because this is my passion. My Gators are my passion. I love the team, but I hate that they struggle so much. And the problem is now you got 16 teams in the Southeastern Conference. You're falling further and further behind with this doing it right, this young and upcoming coach crap, It doesn't work that way. Look at Alabama. Look what Alabama just did. They went and hired the damn coach at Washington. They pulled the coach away from Washington, who was in the national title game last year. They didn't settle for the next assistant coach of Saban. They didn't settle for some up-and-coming, but the Gators we go for a up-and-coming coach somewhere. I did hear.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, missus. You're entitled to laugh. I am rampage on the loose tonight. We have 5 people, so hopefully you're getting your money's worth tonight. Share it out to everybody out. The Dadman is really unhinged tonight.
Oh, Dadman.
Yeah.
Real quick. You got to find this wing.
Okay.
It's somewhere.
It's only one wing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's more than I thought we had of it. Okay. Woo! Yeah, Atwood's laughing at you laughing. But, woo! All right, shall we look at the numbers, the bloody numbers with this game? Oh, I got plenty of shit to say about this. I'm going to be from fire Wednesday night too. I will tell you, because I'm going to Wednesday night, I'm going to recast this. I'm going to digest it tonight. I'm going to wait till Wednesday. I am going to recast the Gators this week. This is bullshit. There's no way I can be as optimistic. Hell, next week against Samford. Hell, let's look at Samford. Does Samford play? Let's see what Samford is doing tonight. Let's see. It's just the Gators' next opponent in Gainesville is Samford. Folks, Florida has lost to Georgia Southern at home. Florida has lost to unbelievably bad teams at home many years ago. So do not laugh at the possibility that Florida will lose to Samford. I'm actually may take Samford next week at this point. I'm so pissed off. Okay, of course now it won't give me the teams. It's only at the 1A level. Let's see. Sometimes I hate ESPN, you know. Just like, let's see the schedule. Let's see how this goes. Anyway, I'll look it up later this week. But it's Samford, the Samford Bulldogs. Let's see. Oh, I know what they control fine. Let's see it there. Well, I don't see them. Of course, this is all 1A level. Let me do this real quick. Let me do a different search. Okay. I will recast. I will repick the Gators season. I'm not going to change whatever. But I'm going to revise my predictions. Because what this was tonight was beyond an embarrassment for the University of Florida. So Samford is playing West Georgia right now. West Georgia leads 20-14. They play in the Southern Conference in the 1AA or the FCS division, which means they're the championship division, which is a lower level. So, it's Bobby Bowden Field. Yeah, because he came up coaching up there in Homewood, Alabama. That's the Gators' next opponent. And I don't know, folks. I saw no fire on offense. I saw no fire on defense. Well, let's give Miami Hurricanes credit. They win, go out. They take a 7-0 lead. Florida pulls within 7-3. Then it goes downhill from there. Took a 71-yard run by Montrell Johnson to get the Gators back in the game at 17-10. But then Cam Ward leads Miami to another TD strike just before the half to go in at 24-10. Cam Ward was 26-35, 385 yards on the day, 3 touchdowns and a pick, while Damian Martinez only ran for 65 yards, but they were very effective. Cam Ward also ran for 33 yards on the ground. Xavier Restrepo, what a wide receiver for Miami, 7 catches for 112 yards, 16 per catch with a touchdown. And then Florida did get 2 interceptions, though, today. The defense did pretty good. At times, they did some takeaways, but they could not stop them when it counted. Also, we get back to undisciplined. Like I said, the thing about culture. Twice in the first half, Florida got called for roughing the passer penalties that kept Miami drives going. And I led to points. You just can't do that. So Graham Mertz, who the hope for Florida was this year, that he had a great year last year, really looked good statistically, but was only 11-20 for 91 yards. Again, under 10 yards of completion, folks. That's what I was saying about how lackluster the Florida offense looked. No spark, no dynamicism, just nothing. And then DJ Lagway comes in 3 for 6, only 31 yards. Also, both quarterbacks threw a pick. Montrell Johnson had 106 yards on one, but it was a 71 on the one carry. So he had 10 for 35 yards. Lagway had averaged 5 yards a carry for 20 yards. Florida had 139 yards rushing, but again, 71 on one running play. So make that 68 yards. So outside of that one play, Florida only got 190 yards total offense. It's 190 yards of total offense in modern college football. That's how dominant. This was like the old U. So, and Vigilante, I know you probably remember the old U back in the Jimmy Johnson days and stuff. This team had that swag. And as that game went going, they had their U's up. They had everything. I mean, this team looked like an old, not a Larry Coker Miami Hurricanes, but a Jimmy Johnson type of team. I will say one of them was, I agree, both of them in the 70s or 80s, neither would have been called personal fouls. But knowing in the modern rules, one of them, the guy, I mean, he took 3 steps and then still hit him. And you got to know better than that, But I do agree that it's, I do agree the modern rules suck. Roughing now is you touch them wrong. You glance the helmet, anything to the head they call. I agree with you, but these two were they were legitimate for how the game is called nowadays. And one of them should have been that he took 3 steps and then hit the guy. It's like that's discipline and discipline. Yes, the old you and the Coca era. Yep, exactly. So it's so if you're a Miami fan, hey, I tell you what, if you're a Miami fan, be excited for this team. This team looked nasty, and I don't mean that as bad. When I say nasty, I mean it's a good nasty. That like McDonald's French fries, like the missus tells me sometimes she wants McDonald's French fries because they're nasty good. And I tell you, Miami looked nasty good today. They finally have a quarterback. That's been one of the biggest complaints in Miami for years. They showed a stat that they had not had a quarterback drafted in I think the top 3 rounds, or a quarterback drafted at all since 2017, and it was Brian Kaya. Folks, that's really reaching back, And Miami used to be the University of, it used to be quarterback U. Testaverde, Kozar. I mean, so many quarterbacks came out of, Steve Walsh was an awesome college quarterback, didn't translate to the NFL. But, you look at, I tell you what, FSU, yeah, FSU better be scared. I think the Florida champion this year is definitely the Miami. So, but anyway. All right, Atwood, I hope you're laughing. That was my rampaging for the night. So I think I've about spent all the energy I can. It'll come back at some point, but I will take a quick look at the Gators schedule real quick. I'm going to re-officially evaluate it Wednesday night. But hosting Samford next week, I will say a win, but it is going to be ugly. We're talking about Florida winning maybe 27-14, 27-13, not where it should be like 51-3. Kind of like Tennessee 169-3 against a small team like that. Texas A&M at home. I need to see Texas A&M against Notre Dame tonight. That's the one thing with preseason look when you don't see the teams play, but you can observe a lot when you watch them actually play it against good competition. I'll hold off on Texas A&M, but initial points for what I saw, I think Texas A&M will win that game. I think Florida will lose at Mississippi State. It's a noon kickoff. Florida always struggles in Starkville, Mississippi. Even if they suck, Sylvester Croom was a good old coach for Mississippi State many years ago, but he ended, and he got fired. But the one team he beat before he got fired was Florida and Ron Zook. They host UCF. Again, let's see how UCF looks, but UCF could go into Gainesville and win. At road at Tennessee, forget. I had all my thing. Well, it's a rivalry game. Florida would probably have Tennessee. Forget that. Even the people in Tennessee were scared about the Florida game coming up. But this team has no firepower in offense, and looks like it's paper on defense. Of course, they host Kentucky. Well, might as well say Kentucky wins because Napier can't beat Kentucky either. Then you got Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State. How's Florida going to win more than 3 games this year? I mean, seriously. Now, a lot of this is raw post-game reaction, which is why I went live. And that's why I love having you guys in here watching. I love, Atwood, I love your questions. I love Vigilante here, remembering the good old days and stuff. But, hey, you guys are my free therapy. Mrs. always said, get a hobby. Well, hey, instead of me yelling around the house, I can yell at the internet. But, hey, and Atwood, you can pick on me and the Gators all you want to. So, all right. So that's enough about this team today. It's going to be interesting, I will say. And I tell you, Florida fans could have taken a close loss or looking competitive, but this was a beatdown at home. Hey, Jason, good to see you today. Oh, I'm just ranting. So if you want to hear ranting and frustration, you're coming to the right place. But hey, don't worry. It's not pop culture and all that other crap. This is about football. But I tell you what, their rumor was that he was on the hot seat. Napier's on the hot seat entering this season. An impressive showing, close loss. People could have accepted, but getting just basically embarrassed at home. Basically, they put you, the University of Miami came in there, stuffed you into a portalet and turned it over with the door facing down, and you're stuck in the portalet in your own home. So, colorful analogies for you tonight. But Hey, you know what? People get buying all the time on in YouTube and ranting about politics and all. Mine is about football, and including my team. So hopefully you're laughing with me and at me. That's fine. But hey, all credit to Miami. In all seriousness, though, I believe, and this is probably a chance. Miami has toyed with being back over the years since the let's see, Vigilante. You might be able to help me. Since probably the early mid '90s, after Johnson left, after Coker, was it probably the mid to late '90s? Ever since then, there were times that the U was back and stuff like that. Mario Cristobal played at the University of Miami. He was the heart and soul of those type of teams back then. He's using the transfer portal like with Cam Ward. The U may really be back now and legitimately with their coach. I will say, because the people are starting to doubt him, but if he can perform like this, Miami is well set, like Josh Heupel. Give me a good – if both coaches had coaching experience at major Division I schools and had success, Cristobal at Oregon, Heupel at UCF, what did Florida do? We got to hire the next new up-and-comer, guys, because that's what we do. Anyway, sorry about that. Atwood, you don't have to call the authorities. Mrs. here watching on me. So, and yeah, she was laughing. That was hilarious. All right, so let's move on to another game. Oh boy. So there will be more about that disaster. That's a horrible train wreck, my friends. Why the hell did I flip over to baseball? That game was that bad. So I'll probably wrap up in a few minutes. Because we've talked about all the games that are ongoing, or that have of note that have really finished. We got the Michigan game, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Oregon. All these are about to kick off in the next few minutes. And that's probably the highlight of the games. 21 Arizona plays New Mexico tonight on ESPN at 10:30. Washington is back in action. You'll see Will Rogers, former SEC quarterback, making his Washington debut down there. Oregon with Dylan Gabriel, who transferred from Oklahoma, and Idaho are back in action, both on the Big Ten Network. So respect my authority. Hey, Stunning. Good to see you, too. Good to see you, too. Early thoughts, they had a lot of pros like Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, Jeremy Shockey, probably guys I'm leaving out. Yeah, and that's the thing is Miami put people in the NFL. Cam Ward, is talked about as an NFL high draft quarterback. So, and that's when the U was really effective. It's how many players. Yeah, but you look at it new too. The last few years, look at the University of Georgia. Look how many athletes that they're putting out into the NFL draft now. Look at all of your major teams that are having success. It's good to see you too. Hopefully enjoying the rant tonight. So it's good. But yeah, and it's you can definitely tell a quality team by how many players they do put into the next level. Not that all their great players make the next level, but that was a calling card of all those Miami teams was that and showmanship. Look at Dwayne Rock Johnson. He didn't make it in the NFL, but he did something else. So, All right. So, like I said, Oregon, Texas A&M, Michigan, your top 10 teams or top 20 teams that are coming up in action. Notre Dame is a top 10 team also against Texas A&M. So I will probably go ahead and get wrapped up in a second. God, I've been going an hour. Wow. Let me just take a quick look at other scores right now. I'm going to look at the Beavers too. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Let me see where the Beavers are with this thing. Let's see. Playing Idaho State. Now that's a discussion we can have is what's going to happen to Oregon State and oh God. All right. We'll go Atwood. I might have to have a late night rant because the Beavers are now losing to FCS school Idaho State 9-7. All right. Hey, you want a bad day, folks? South Carolina is now tied by Old Dominion at 16 at the end of the third quarter. That's one of the ones that look like a potential upset special this week. So, hey, it's going into the fourth quarter. Also, Boise State now is pulled ahead of Georgia Southern 49-37. For Admiralty out there, Marshall still leads Stony Brook 7-0. Just scanning game. Mississippi State 35-0 over Eastern Kentucky nearing the halftime. Let's see. Virginia still is delayed with Richmond. Liberty and Campbell are delayed also. East Carolina leads Norfolk State 28-3. Wow. Alabama now leads Western Kentucky 7-0. TJ Finley's already thrown an interception. The former LSU and Auburn player playing now for Western Kentucky, as Small Town Republic had pointed out, is fourth school. Ole Miss leads Furman 21-0. Kansas State's up on UT Martin 14-0. And those are the action with the ranked teams. Our friend Whoopa Troopa Baylor leads Tarleton State 21-0. UNLV has an early lead on Houston 7-0. And Sam Houston is leading Rice 17-0. And Memphis leads North Alabama 7-0. Michigan and Fresno State are about to kick off. Alabama A&M, and Auburn have just started. Also tonight at 7:30, UCLA is visiting Hawaii in a game about to kick off on CBS. That's the good thing, is that there's games on free networks, CBS, Fox, ABC, NBC tonight. So if you want to watch free college football where you don't have to pay ESPN and all that, hey, there you go. Notre Dame, Texas A&M about to kick off on ABC. SEC Network has Southern Miss at Kentucky. And Georgia Tech hosts Georgia State on the ACC Network. And I think that will about do it for now. And then, of course, remember, New Mexico visits Arizona at 10:30 on ESPN. All right, folks, that's it for the early games today. That is my carnage and chaos and my ranting and raving about the stupid Florida Gators tonight. So, with that said, thank y'all all for coming and thank you for being here. Now, Atwood, you can go back and watch the replay. If you enjoyed the rant again, Atwood, hey, there you go. And any of y'all, thank y'all. It was good talking some sports with y'all. Thank y'all for being here for as long as y'all have. Join us on Wednesday nights with Bucky's Crafting as my co-host, as we will look at the results of this week in the ACC and with the Michigan game tonight, and look forward to next week's games. With that said, I thank you all. Thank you for your support. And hey, always get the notifications. Follow me on Twitter, DadmanWalking55. Get the notifications on Twitch and YouTube, DadmanWalking55. Whenever we go live, you never know. It could be a stream at 3 o'clock in the morning. It could be 11 o'clock at night. It could be a fortnight here or there. Just a lot of random stuff. But on that note, everybody, y'all have a wonderful day, night, and hopefully I don't need another late night rant stream tonight. But if not, hey, show up and we'll have some fun together. As always, thank you, and y'all have a good evening. Bye, all.